Hi, my dear students. Welcome back to a new session. And yes, today's session I'm going to talk about the areas which refers to knowledge economy, business trends, and I believe you remember where we stopped. We're talking about commercial services. All right. So I'm going to give you some hints of, there are some students who are referring or asking for some notes. So it's not necessary that you have to always rely on notes because business is something that we have to learn practically. So whenever you get to any of the stores and whenever you involve in buying and selling, or if probably if you're doing any business or maybe your parents or your relatives, whatever, whenever you get an opportunity, try to get involved and see how whatever things that you learn are practically approached or how they are practically used, because this is something that you have to learn in such a manner. It has to be much more experienced with your hands-on experience. All right. And one more hint that I'm going to give you is where you could see what on my screen right now is the syllabus. All right. So I'm making notes according to this structure. So where we will not be out of the syllabus, you have to stay within the syllabus. So you could look, we spoke about the support services or auxiliary services. So today we have to refer to knowledge economy, business trends. Are we good? All right, let's get into them and see. So you can have your own notes, or you can just, use today's AI technology to refer your notes or make your notes and learn. Right? You have multiple options which you could do this. All right, so we're going to talk about e-commerce, and then we're going to talk about e-business as well. So we'll see what are these. Right. So electronic commerce that refers to buying and selling activities conducted through the internet. So you know the term commerce, but we spoke about commerce, which is a combination of trade as well as some of the auxiliary services. So if this takes place through an internet platform or an electronic platform, for example, shopping on websites like Amazon or eBay is an example of e-commerce. What is the difference between e-commerce and e-business? E-business, or we call it as electronic business, which involves conducting all business activities using the internet, not just buying and selling, right? It has to be completely each and every business activity. So today we know a good example is the Google business, where you see a lot of operations that takes place using the internet platform. It should be communications, operations, service, entirely everything, right? Likewise, you could refer to some other providers, service providers who are completely within the e-business platform. Are we good? And moving on to information era. So today, with the advancement of artificial intelligence, undoubtedly, yes, it is actually something which is into majority of the industries, and it has its dominance, correct? So when you speak about this information era, where today anyone from any part of the world can access any detail with just a fingertip, all right? That's so easy with just even you don't have to have an advanced phone or a device. With even an ordinary device, you can do this. So where the information era brings in. Why do we need to talk about these e-commerce? Just I would like to take you back to the history. When you go back to like around 50, 100 years, you can even talk to your elders or maybe your parents and see they would have not even imagined a world like today, which is well equipped with just a smartphone, which can almost do everything. All right. So when there is a business operation that is taking place, the most important factor is adjusting to the latest trend. That's very important. Okay, it could be an ordinary business. Now, in India is a country which is fastly transforming everything into digitalization. Right, they're trying to bring everything into digitalization, which is much needed. You won't believe even a coconut seller, a king coconut seller, or maybe a fruit seller on a street. It could be a pavement vendor. Doesn't matter. Even to that party, they are trying to introduce this digital platform, especially for customers to make their payments using their mobile phones or maybe using their banking channels, right? So Just digital money is becoming so popular in that particular country. Where just imagine, even if Sri Lanka bring this up, we can resolve so many problems. Today, we're finding it difficult to assess how much money is being spent by people. But imagine if it's digitalized, everything goes through a financial institution, which is authorized or which monitors each and every transaction. It's easy to assess how much people make, and we can, charge enough tax from people. So that's an example to prove how e-commerce is important and how it's pivoted. So when you speak about the popularity of e-commerce, there are so many factors. Number one is business information exchange is paperless, improving efficiency. So even today, when you get into a bank, you could see they are trying to upgrade themselves. They're trying to get into a paperless form of practice. Faster business activities due to instant communication. With today's platforms, such as, you could say there are so many platforms. You could use social media, email, correspondence, telephone. There are so many other platforms which could make things more instant. Reduced operational inventory costs due to better resource management. Emergence of global market space, making it easier for businesses to reach international customers. Improved, sorry for the spelling over here. So improved quality of goods and services through better feedback and data analysis. Saves time and energy for customers, offering convenience. Rising computer literacy made online transactions more accessible. Improved infrastructure, such as faster internet and better logistics, supports e-business growth. So these are some main reasons why e-commerce is becoming so popular today. And we all wanted to get things much more conveniently. So definitely, advancement of technology is a factor which actually helps or assists to make sure that e-commerce takes place in a very easy manner. Right. Moving on to evolution of business. I believe I actually spoke about this in a detailed picture. Just want to give you a brief as we are just aligning with the syllabus. So the barter system, where direct exchange of goods and services that takes place between the parties without using money. And there were so many reasons as to why the barter system failed, right? You can just go through the old videos and cross-check. Just to make it simple, when you involve in barter system, there might be possibilities that when you exchange goods, the parties, if there's a disagreement, and if you can't measure the value of the particular product, if you can't store, there are so many practical difficulties where barter system failed. And then evolution of or use of money, where the introduction of money came into power, which helped in order to uh, help get rid of the problems in the barter system. So introduction of currency as a medium of exchange, it was used as an instrument in order to exchange goods and services using a proper value. So earlier days, gold coins were used, salt was used, sugar was used. So today we know, when you speak about use of money, money has come to a transformation, especially the digital era, digitalization of money. Today we are using e-money in many of the occasions. So that's an example of evolution of money. Industrial revolution, mechanization of production leading to mass production. So we know factories producing goods on assembly lines in the 19th century was a good example to talk about. So that has led to so much after the late 90s until the 2020, I would say 2050 probably, where the AI became a very spoken topic across the world. So today we are in the information era, where digitalization of information and use of the internet for business. So companies using big data for decision making and online platforms for transactions. It's so convenient. Like, why I'm saying this is, earlier days, if you really need to go search for data and all these things, analysis, it's actually a time consuming process. Today, with the AI platform, you can just take an ordinary picture, put into that platform, where it will give you a very professional picture according to your requirements. That's an example of how convenient it is. Earlier, if you want to do a marketing, a banner, or if you want to design, um, let's say a brochure, or you want to design a social media advertisement, whatever the designs, right? You would have to put someone involved as an expert to the Photoshop work and work on it. But today it's not that necessary. If you give the content, automatically it generates uh, very much appropriate content which you could use. See, I'm not trying to uh, exaggerate things. All right, there are pros and cons. So there is a threat. Unfortunately, yes. When you say technology, there's always a threat, but we can't keep on complaining about the threat. We have to make use of the platform, which has to help us. So it's all about how we control, or how we take the control of the particular platform. That's very crucial. So you have to understand, even though it's digitalization, even though it's information era, you are revealing yourself. So you have to make sure that you use it responsibly in a wise manner, with enough understanding of the seriousness of it. Right? If you take things for granted, if you take things very lightly as a joke, well, you will have to face the consequence. All right? That's the threat of digital information era. And moving on to some new trends in business due to advancement of information communication technology. So its first one is globalization, where business can operate and compete on a global scale. As an example, Sri Lanka Tea company exporting products worldwide through online platforms. Today, we know Sri Lanka Tea is, or Sri Lanka's tea manufacturing or tea is the fourth leading tea manufacturing in the world, tea manufacturer in the world. So we are competing with such giants like China, India, Kenya. So we have a very tough competition. So globalization has helped us to retain our position in the market. They say Sri Lankan tea is the best in the world. The reason is, uh, you when you go to up country, you will see tea made. So according to the elevation from the sea level, the tea taste varies place to place. That's the best part of Sri Lankan tea. All right, and then emerging or emergence of e-businesses. So today there are so many. It could be an ordinary business, which we can use the e-business in order to operate in an online platform. Online banking is a good example. PayPal, you people would use so much of e-business platforms in order to even do purchase. Dadas is a very good example to understand the consequence. When you talk about the Dadas platform, Dadas doesn't buy everything and do the sales. If you go search for some things, they're just interconnected with some of the vendors. So they will pop out, they will show you some of the vendors who are connected through the system. So they play a agent or middle play role, where they probably buy from the particular vendor, and then it's not uh, it's not the case in every product that you buy, right? But majority of the product works in that way, which is an example of emergence of e-business. And then use of electronic money. As I told you, India is a very good example where you could go and search. Today, they are very proud of saying that, because they are using some of their platform, like I can't exactly recall the name. Maybe I'll try to bring it in the next session, where they're using some of the applications which are built by the Indians. That's the best part. So electronic money, where digital currencies and payments are happening through a system. So cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and payment services like Google Pay, these are some examples of where the electronic money is being used. All right. And environmental concern. So business adopting eco-friendly practices. Today, even you buy a smartphone, even the package itself, they make sure that it is an eco-friendly practice. Why do we have to go so far? Just imagine that you go and buy a cup of yogurt in an ordinary context. Definitely you will be given it a wooden spoon or maybe a paper spoon. But yes, I don't know to what extent are consumer affairs authorities implementing such laws. It's supposed to be the plastic cup, not the wooden spoon or the straw, correct? So that is the majority of the portion which is carried on. Probably if there is an alternative that they could use to store yogurt or drink, that's appreciable. By just reducing the amount of spoon, it's not going to make a big impact, but definitely there is an impact. But definitely it's going to be eco-friendly. There is no argument in that. So if there is an argument, probably I would say something is better than nothing. So in that context, it's actually an appreciable initiative. But still, there are so many options, especially when you speak about environmental friendly concern. Today, in fact, there are scented napkins which they make out of eco-friendly products, and then clothes that is made with eco-friendly product, right? And there are so many alternatives to use in regards of apart from plastic or polythene. which is an example of environmentally concerned. So we are discussing about the points which are considered as new trends in the present world. All right. And the last one is business social responsibility. So, greater focus on ethical practices and community support is what business social responsibility refers to. So, if you want me to give you an example, you can take any of the stationery vendors. Just take one of your exercise books, just refer to exercise book. Probably you might see some of their social responsibility expression. I know Atlas takes an initiative where they're trying to help poor children by collecting by contributing a reasonable amount from every book that is purchased, which is an example of a social responsibility. And you might have witnessed so many businesses that come to your school, do sponsor some of the sports events, do sponsor some of your you know um, prize giving, one of the events that take place in the school. They help some poor children. So these are some examples of social responsibility, because as business, the businesses are being supported, helped by the customers or the consumers. So in that context, they have the responsibility to give back to the society. That's what we call as social responsibility. So greater focus on ethical practices and community support is considered as business social responsibility. So example, there is a company called Tom's which donates shoes for every pair they sell. Are we good? Right. So this is about the present trend in business. There might be some areas which I might have been opted out, right? So don't always think that whatever I'm giving you here is much more enough. Okay. I can just show you the pathway. It's my responsibility to guide you with my expertise, my knowledge, or my experience in this particular field, to tell you these are the things which is available and this is how it works. So it's your responsibility to go enhance your knowledge, do further search, and develop yourself. That's what you have to do. Okay. So I'm almost in a point to cover the first unit of the particular syllabus, just to drive back to the particular syllabus. So we have already covered the first competency point 1.2, and we have 1.3. So once this competency is over, we'll be discussing some other areas, probably another two sessions maybe. So once this is done, I would try to discuss some of the past paper questions related to this area. So maybe within end of this month, we will be discussing some of those past papers questions too. All right. So yes, thank you very much for your time. I believe it was an interesting session, and I want your honest feedback. If I'm supposed to adjust the way I speak, or if you want me to reduce the speed, or if you don't understand my English, you can just always comment on it. I'm ready to make sure that this is accessible to each and every student across the country. So thank you very much for listening the session. Have a wonderful day ahead. So please spend at least 20 to 30 minutes on a daily basis. Do your self-study and try to utilize this to the core. Thank you. Have a good one. We'll meet soon.